Okay, in a second here I'm going to do a casting video, but just putting our rod together. This is our reel. Our colored part is our fly line. Our blue there is the backing. I'm putting these rods together real simple. There's a couple dots. We match them up here. Tyson, there's a dot there. There's a dot here. I'm going to put that together, and then just as simple as doing the same thing with this one. And then putting together here for the 9-foot rod. We're all lined up. Our guides are all lined up. Then we have a leader on here. We have a fly line. So a lot of times I try to find the end of this clear leader. I'm going to pull this off until we get our fly line. And then the best way to string this thing up is to double it over right here and just come through each guide just like this until we get to the very end, and then we'll pull it all straight and we're good to go. So that's setting the rod up. We've got a leader on there. We'll just probably practice with a piece of yarn or something you could tie on there, something that'll just give you an indication of where you're landing. So let's go over there and do the casting demonstration. You have the two most important things that you need to remember when fly casting. I'm doing this just to get you started with casting. Also, as a favor, I wanted to get this out there to James. He's been real patient. James Strickland. I'm going to leave a link for his website. He's an outstanding artist, but he's going to do some artwork for me, and I want to get him set up with a rod and get him going in the right direction. But this should help a lot of people. If you're checking this out, I just want to show you this on casting, the two most important things again, and that is the difference between casting with a fly rod and casting with a spinning rod. Is number one. We don't want to be coming back here like you do with a spinning rod and then coming forward and just stopping. We don't have any weight on our fly line here, so we have to make sure we have to wait on our fly line behind us before we cast. So that straightening is what we want. I like to count in my head 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, the second most important thing is with spin casting, we come back like this and use our wrist to cast. Not with fly casting. It's an opposite. In fact, a lot of times I'll have people put this rod right here in their sleeve to keep them from breaking the wrist. So it's an extension of our arm. I'm using my elbow and I'm using my arm to come back. And I'm keeping my rod tip up there. If I think about a clock face, this being 12 o'clock, I'm going from 11 to 1. Watch what happens if I go too far back. If I break my wrist and come back like this, we've got a big wide open loop and everything piles up here. If I stop right here, come forward, stop, pause, come forward, then everything straightens out just like that. Okay, now I've got a target that's set out there. We've kept the two things in mind. A, we want to stop up here 11 to 1, and 2, we want to pause behind us. Now, if I have a lot of line, I may actually have to pause more. So, I'm going to cast here and practice casting at this tube here at a short distance. Eventually, I'm going to move it further as I get better, but the most important thing really is accuracy. If we're fishing from a boat, most of the time we're fishing this distance right here. Tyson, can you show them that tube right there? That's probably about 30 feet right there. If we can be accurate at 30 feet, we can catch a lot of fish. So, just to back up for a second here, let's pull this line off of our reel. And on my forward cast, I'm going to let this line go. I'm going to open and pinch on the forward cast. So, open, pinch, open, pinch, open, shoot. Just like that. Now, Tyson, if you'll come back here behind me and show me casting and show where this rod tip's going, I'm going to show you how we can hit this thing 9 times out of 10. So here we are from a different angle, and I'm going to say open and pinch to shoot that line out. We only have about 10 feet of line out. I don't care how good you are, that's as far as I can cast when I have that out. So this casting that we're doing is called false casting. And that is letting the rod stop at the right position and letting the line straighten out behind us. Now the open and pinch is just to shoot more line out. So I'm going to start with a short line. I'm going 11 to 1. I'm pausing behind me. Not too long, but definitely not short enough. If we don't wait long enough, then we start hearing a whipping sound, and we know that's the wrong thing. But I'm gonna open, pinch, open, pinch, open, and just let that drop right there. And we'll do a couple more casts here. And again, if we can get accurate at 30 feet, this is not a power thing at all. I'm not breaking my wrist, and I'm just letting it settle right down there. So I'm going 11 to 1, 11, 11, stop, follow it down. Just like that. We want it to land right on that tube. We don't want to be coming back here. We don't want to hear the snapping. And we don't want to be throwing it real hard. It's a nice, easy cast, just letting the rod bend behind us and then come forward. A little bit off. There's a little bit of a breeze. I'm going to adjust to that right there. A little bit of a breeze. Right, boom, right there. A couple more, boom. Once we can get accurate at this distance, we can feel pretty good about our casting because, again, we're only going to need to cast this much most of the time. Nice and easy, straight up almost, pause, follow through. That's it. That's a 5-minute lesson. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll come up with a different lesson for next time.